You would have thought, given the dire year that the BBC had last year with its royal bashing, they may have learned a lesson, but seemingly not. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. I hope you're keeping well today. And that is one of the breaking royal stories coming out of London today. As I said, you would have kind of thought, wouldn't you, looking at the BBC and the Bashir disgrace that they encountered last year. That's still ongoing, by the way. And of course, the thousands of pounds that they had to pay out to His Royal Highness Prince Charles. And let's not forget, of course, the recent Princes and the Press documentary, which of course was fronted by the now rebirthed monarchist, but at the time anti-monarchist. If you remember, he wanted to throw a brick at the television screen when Kate Middleton, as she then was, came onto his TV. But apparently now it's all very well at the BBC because he's learned his lesson. You get the picture of the sort of organisation that is. But it still does not stop here in 2022, we can tell you this. As we know, the ongoing battle for His Royal Highness the Duke of York Prince Andrew continues. But you wouldn't have thought so if you'd been watching the mainstream media, particularly BBC News. Now, they're not alone. All the mainstream media did cover this. But of course, the BBC covered it at length. This is because at great expense, they undertook that particular interview with, of course, Prince Andrew for the very little watched programme Newsnight. But it didn't stop the presenters trying to bask back once again in the glory. In fact, Emily Maitlis shot, of course, to the BBC website to talk about how she'd had a private discussion previously with, of course, His Royal Highness Prince Andrew about whether he should discuss certain aspects of the interview. Riveting. And then, if you flicked over to other areas of social media, we actually got the booker for that particular programme basically crowing about how she'd got the scoop of the year, and it was BAFTA nominated, no less. I mean, when you think about it, is it truly something to be proud of? You know, you look at that. But let's go back to Miss Maitlis. What is, of course, the agenda? And this has to be, in my opinion, as to why, of course, she's so keen to still be associated with this particular interview. Well, naturally, there are certain groundbreaking elements in it. She managed to sit in Buckingham Palace, one of the finest palaces in the world, opposite, of course, a member of the British monarchy. And they've been trying to get this interview for over a year. But Miss Maitlis, let's not forget, is paid £350,000 a year from the British taxpayer for 3 days a week to front a programme. Right, let that sink in. Moving forward, of course, she also has a book to promote, which we were told when it first came out was going to be turned into some kind of either film, drama or documentary. That seems to have gone to dust. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Then, of course, Miss Maitlis, as I say, who earns £350,000 a year, can top up that huge salary alongside very lucrative corporate work, which she's undertaken. Now, apparently the reason why she was able to get such a high salary is because the BBC was so frightened they may lose this particular star interviewer. Now, I often say this on the show, and I genuinely mean this. Where would these people go if the BBC didn't want them? They pay salaries of £1 million to certain presenters, claiming that's the going rate, and they would lose them if, of course, they didn't pay it. So where would they go? They never seemingly answer that question. But back, of course, to the royal bashing by the BBC. It continues, and what's interesting is, yes, there's no denying, of course, that the BBC did get a scoop by sitting down with His Royal Highness. That created headlines around the world. Forget that the BBC is not meant to be a commercial-led venture chasing ratings, and more importantly, headlines. It's there to inform and educate. That was the remit all the way back from Lord Reith. But of course, in this age of social media and the fame-hungry people associated with those particular programmes, it appears that they seemingly only are interested in promoting themselves, and really it doesn't matter how much dirt they seemingly throw by association to and at a member of the British monarchy. As ever, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. As you can imagine, I find it very, very toe-curlingly embarrassing. But given the fact that the year, as I say, the BBC has had, with the absolute disgrace of the former reporter Martin Bashir, and it's not just associated with the late and wonderful Princess Diana, and as I say, that recent documentary on the Princes and the Press, you would have thought in this Platinum Jubilee year, they may have shown a little bit of decorum. Seemingly, that's not to be. Let me know as ever what you think in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.